welcome to the Purlsbeforethyme knitting podcast. I'm Elise. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. I haven't been making a ton of content lately because it's just been super busy in the run up to Christmas, and I've been doing a lot of things and a lot of creative things, but I haven't really had time to film, and the light has been so awful. I think it only gets fully light between 9 and 10, and then it's dark by 4, so that's the entire time that I'm at work basically. So yeah, it's been a bit more challenging, and I know the light here, this is as light as it gets, and it's overcast and grey, and it's not really ideal, but we're gonna just work with it today. I hope you're all well, and I hope you're on break like I am, and you're just relaxing into that cozy holiday relaxed winter knitting mood, because I'm definitely in that. I've just been curled up in this chair with a cat on my lap watching TV and knitting away, and I've needed it because I haven't had time for that so much recently. I can show you a little bit about what I've been up to. So apart from knitting, I have been doing a lot of baking. All the women on my partner's side of the family, we have an annual gathering, and we do a thing every year. So the last 2 years we do a whole day of sausage making. We buy a ton of meat and herbs, and then we spend a whole day making maybe about 100, maybe more sausages from scratch. It is a big job. I think there's 7 or 8 of us, and it's an all hands on deck kind of job, and it's really fun. But this year we decided to do something different. And in Norway there's a tradition with biscuits called de syv slag, or de syv sorter, which is the 7 types of traditional Christmas biscuit. And we did our own kind of warp on it, where we made some of the sort of standard traditional ones, and then some just that we felt like making. So the standard ones include gingerbread and a thing called krumkake, which is a kind of cardamom flavored wafer that you make in this beautiful intricate little iron, and then you roll it up into a cone, and traditionally you eat it with a thing called multekrem, which is a cream made from cloudberries and cream, and you put that inside, and it's really nice, or it's just really nice with coffee on its own. They're very lovely. I contributed shortbread this year, so I think that was a good success. It's kind of, everyone likes a bit of shortbread. It's quite easy and traditional, and I like that. So yeah, we had a whole day. I think it was 7 hours of baking, and that took up a lot of time. And then this is the first year I, as an adult, have had my own alive Christmas tree, which has been such fun, and it needed some decorations. So I had some air dried clay lying around from the summer that I used for something. So I used a load of little gingerbread molds that I had, and I decided to make a few little garlands. And in Norway, pigs are a very traditional Christmas symbol, because I don't know exactly why, but they are. So I made a few little pigs with some stars in between that I can kind of wrap around the tree. And then I just made some simple, I'd seen similar things on Instagram where people they were making their own air dry or oven dry clay. And this has gotten really tangled. I'll have to untangle it after this. I had it all in one nice chain, and it's just gone a little bit wrong. I can show you the beginning of it without it getting too tangled. But yeah, I made a load of stars that are also really beautiful, and I painted them gold, so that's really pretty. And then I had some fun because I'm half South African, so I thought it's nice to have some African inspiration on the trees. I have a little giraffe, I have a little gingerbread man, and I made, this is maybe more of a Swedish thing, but it's called a julebukk. It's a little sort of goat that traditionally is made with straw and then tied together with red ribbon. So I painted sort of where the red ribbon would be on this guy. So they look really lovely. The tree is cute. I also got my cat to make some little imprints with his paws, not very deep ones, so they're not so obvious. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it and I've really enjoyed it. And the cat loves the tree. He is so excited that we have a tree in the house. Anyway, enough non-knitting stuff. Let's move on to knitting. So I am wearing my which one is it? Between Petals pullover by Teti Lutsak. This is one of my favourite tops. It's kind of my most festive knit. It's so intricate with the detail and the colour work, and it's made in 100% Nutiden from Henrik Eyer, which is a wonderful unspun wool producer in Sweden, and I'm so happy with this. I have not worn this enough. It hasn't been super cold this winter yet, so hopefully in the new year I'll wear it a bit more. But knitting wise, I have mainly been focusing on one project because after I made my last video all about test knitting and saying I would take a break from it, I immediately was not contacted, but I had just applied for another test knit. I didn't think I'd get on it, but I did get on it, which meant that I had to quickly acquire some yarn and start. And I don't know, I have mixed feelings about this. I'm very happy with the project. It's just my choices with it have been a bit silly. And the main choice that I think was maybe a bit silly was I chose to use black yarn in the darkest part of the year, which has been a bit of a challenge. So this is a test knit for Sophie behind the account The Knit Purl Girl on Instagram. She is a lovely designer, and this is the Stamford sweater that is not released yet. It's going to be released. The deadline is in less than a week, so hopefully in the new year, not too long into that, the pattern will be released. And this is it so far. It is a lovely raglan sweater with a kind of quite high neckline and open front that goes quite deep actually. It's once you start knitting the body, you're still knitting the split, and then you only join in the round, several centimeters after you start the body. So it's quite a deep V, or like just opening, and then it's got this really, really comfy folded over ribbed collar around the neck, and then single rib button bands down the front. And yeah, I am using this yarn combination I am so in love with. It is 2 strands of different yarns. So the first yarn is Sol from Hillesvåg Ullvarefabrik, which is a lamb's wool. And I learned when I was choosing this yarn that actually lamb's wool is, well, this particular one, the way it's spun, is much more matte than if you get a what's called a pelsull, which is from an older sheep, I think. So I think it's something different with the properties of how much lanolin there is in it, I'm guessing. That gives it shine. But anyway, this is a very matte wool, and it's so soft and really, really nice. And then I'm holding it together with another yarn that I've never used before, which is this. It is from Ravelry. It is alpaca silk. So I think this is a really nice alternative for silk mohair if you're not really into mohair. It's got like fluffy bits from alpaca instead of mohair. It is a really nice blend. It's 65% baby alpaca, so it's so squishy and nice. It's 25% silk, which is the sort of more firm thread down the middle, and then 10% extra fine merino wool. So this is a really lovely sort of lace weight alternative to mohair. I'm really, really enjoying it. These two together is such a fun combination. I'm so glad that I decided to try something a little bit different. So the final fabric is looking really, really lovely. It's really soft, really squishy, and I found these really fun. I wanted some contrast buttons to go with the black to make it a bit more statement, I guess. And I wanted some gold buttons because I'm more of a gold person than a silver person. And The gold is, yeah, they didn't have many choices of gold button, but I really like these ones in my local yarn shop. They kind of look a bit like leaf shaped, and I put them on yesterday and I'm so pleased. I don't have too much left. I just have to finish this little sleeve, so hopefully in a day or two it can go on the blocking mats. The pattern actually for my body makes quite a short jumper, a little bit too cropped, so I added a centimetre or two, but all the testers were in a little WhatsApp group and we contact each other, and most people have lengthened the body quite considerably in relation to the pattern. So this is still, like, it doesn't quite reach the top of like a regular fit trouser for me. I have to wear high-waisted with this, but that's fine because I tend to wear high-waisted, so it's all right. But anyway, this is going to be a beautiful addition to my wardrobe, and I haven't done so much else than this, and there hasn't been a ton of knitting time lately, but the black yarn has been really difficult to work with, I have to say, especially like even if I have lights on and stuff. I've considered getting one of those like head torches or around the neck knitting lamp for this, because counting stitches and things, especially on the sleeve, like counting how many rows between decreases, I can normally just like read the knitting from the last decrease, and this I can't see a thing, so I have to actually mark the stitches where I do decreases, which is new for me. And yeah, this is going to be so much fun. It's my first jumper in this style. I kind of really like this style now. I've been really tempted to make a Henley kind of top, which is just like a round neck top with a few buttons, like it's a more casual top. So I've been looking at a few patterns on Ravelry for that, and that's been lovely. So that's that one. I also recently decided I want to finish as many projects as possible this year. So I have a week. So I think I'm fairly confident I'll finish that one in the next couple of days. And the other project I've had just sitting around that is very close to being finished is my Magnolia Bloom by Camilla. And this is also made in the same yarn as my Between Petals. It is New Teden, but New Teden held together with 2 strands of silk mohair from Isager. And this sweater, I kind of did all of this in kind of one go and then never got around to the sleeves for some reason. But yeah, I've just picked up the sleeves on this side, and I don't think I'm going to make a full length sleeve for this, if I'm honest. I think I want to make a bit more of an elbow length sleeve, because this is very thick and very warm, and I don't think I'm going to want to wear it like, yeah, I like having a little bit of sort of cooling down on my arms space. And I've also seen this made into, she has a tunic version of it, and that one has short sleeves, and then you can wear like a long sleeve t-shirt underneath, and I think that looks really nice. So just to have a little bit of sleeve length variation in my wardrobe, I think I'm gonna have slightly shorter sleeves on this, but I'm so looking forward to this. It is such a beautiful color. I really like a kind of sort of bluey, greeny, turquoise colour, and these little flowers and things on it. The petals are so gorgeous. So yeah, and I'm also really loving the double knits, double layered ribbed colours. This is just so cozy and warm. I think I get, like, if certain parts of your body are cold, then you feel cold, and for me that's definitely the back of my neck, and so having a really snug neck is something that I really enjoy. So that's kind of all the knitting for now, but I've been doing a lot of thinking about knitting, and one kind of conclusion I've come to is next year I really want to, yeah, I have a lot of yarn, as you can see, and I really want to try to not consume so much and not just buy yarn, because I think, oh, that's really nice yarn, and not necessarily commit to making something with it, even though a lot of the yarn I buy with the intention of making something, and then it ends up really far down the queue. So I'm going to really make it a priority next year to actually work through my stash and not necessarily put myself on a no buy, but really try and see, okay, take an inventory and like allocate all the different patterns that I've decided I'm going to make with all my yarn, and yeah, try and see how many of those I can get through next year. So I think I might make a separate video entirely on my yarn inventory and see how far I can get with assigning it to different things and how much in theory would be left over if I used everything I had intended to use. So I think that's really fun, and I'm looking forward to it. I think there's something kind of exciting about rediscovering the yarn that you already have and that's just been sitting there for a while. So that is something I'm hoping to do. So yeah, I will hopefully post some nice pictures when this is finished and blocked and all of that. I'm going to try and lengthen it a little bit in the block. That's nice. Speaking of blocking, even though I'm a knitter, not all my knitwear is handmade, and sometimes you have accidents with washing and wool, and I had one recently where I changed the bedding, but obviously a sweater ended up sort of entangled in a duvet cover, and then it went through a 60-degree wash cycle and then 2 cycles in the dryer. And it was a really, really beautiful cashmere jumper from John Lewis that I bought. It's actually quite old, but I keep things forever, and this is maybe like 10 to 12 years old. I bought it when I was a student. It was a really big purchase for me, and I have worn it so much. But yeah, anyway, with this jumper, it was already very oversized. I think it must have had positive ease of like 30 to 40 centimeters. And then, yeah, I was so heartbroken because I was just like, taking everything out the wash, took the duvet cover, and sometimes how like a pillowcase will end up in like the corner of a duvet cover all like twisted up. And I was like, oh, it's probably just a pillowcase, and I open it and I was like completely horrified and shocked to find my beautiful cashmere jumper twisted up in the corner of my duvet cover. And I was like, oh no. So initially I was just like, I hadn't even considered rescuing it because I was like, oh, it's gone. It's finished. But then I was like, no, we're going to turn this around. So I soaked this in the sink with fabric softener and some conditioner, and I just left it for half an hour to an hour, fully wet, really wet. And then I very, very, very aggressively blocked it. And I stretched it as basically far as it would stretch. And I can now wear this again. I don't know if I will wear it out, but I can definitely wear it at home. And I think it helped that it was so oversized to start with, because there is a limit to how much felting can happen to something. So I think it reached its felting limit, but now it's like slightly thicker than it was before, and that's kind of cozy because it's still very thin, but it's just like got this little felty feeling, and I'm really enjoying it. So this is my little message to you, that if you do accidentally felt something, you might be able to rescue it if it's oversized enough. Because I have had incidents where I've felted handmade knits, and then, they just felt to the point where you can't fit your head through the hole at the top. So that's tragic when that happens. But this is a little success story. So yeah, that's a little happy note to end this on. So yeah, are you working on any lovely cozy knits right now? Are you on break? Please let me know in the comments. Yeah, so Merry Christmas everyone, happy holidays if you